your state, Texas, has been in the news for a number of reasons. None more so than Mr. Cruz himself.
Yes, Senator Ted Cruz. So here's the problem. Here's how he's jacked himself. So a while ago, this might have been a year ago, he was criticizing California for failed energy policies. And he had this tweet that just did not really age well for him. So this was in August. He responded to a tweet from the California governor's office urging people in the state to turn off unneeded lights and limit their use of appliances. He described the state as unable to perform even basic functions of civilization, like having reliable electricity. He then said Representative AOC of New York, as well as Biden-Harris presidential ticket, wanted to make what he called California's failed energy policy the national standard. Hope you don't like air conditioning, he tweeted last year. So this came back to haunt him on Tuesday. And so on Tuesday, people were reaching out to him and all that. And so he said, I got no defense. So that was starting on Tuesday. Then the next day is when this dude gets on the plane to go to Cancun. And everybody was, all the memes are going and all that stuff. So then he comes back Thursday and said that the reason he went to Cancun was he was just being a good dad and wanted to take his, chaperone his kids and their friends to Cancun, right? But, I came back, he goes, looking back on it, probably wasn't the best idea and all that. But that's what he said, is that he was being a good dad, taking his kids. Well,
of course.
It comes out that his wife was sending some group texts to people in their neighborhood. And the group text got released, which is why you don't do group text, because you never know who's going to share that shit.
You're not a fan of the group text at all.
No, I hate group texts. I hate them with a passion. But so here's the text that she sent out. Their house was freezing in all caps, right? And she proposed like a getaway until Sunday. And she said that asking many of them wanted to join them. They're going to go to the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun, where they've stayed many times. Noting the room prices this week are $309 per night, and it's good security. So that was the truth, that they were leaving because they had no power and it was cold, and they were going to Cancun. Now, Ted Cruz is not responsible for our energy, the energy part of our government. Texas, right? He's not. It's Texas's fault in a sense, because Texas doesn't. We want to have so many different providers that we want to give people the power of choice of using utilities and things like that, using electric. Well, the problem is that's going to hurt a lot of people, because some of those providers, because of the demand went up, the spike in the price went up. So some people are having thousands of dollar bills for their utilities. Wow. But it's because of the company, and they're going to have to pay it. I mean, it's just, they're probably going to be hosed. But my issue with Ted Cruz is, why are you fucking lying? Like, just say, hey, I was out of power. It was cold. I wanted to get my kids out. So we went to Cancun. I was going to bring my laptop and send some emails to Governor Abbott while I'm on the plane. So I'm still working. It's okay for me to go to Cancun. It's really, I don't see the issue of him doing it. My issue is, what are you lying for? So then this bastard comes back after he tells that lie. And then the next day he has these photo ops that he's posting on Twitter of him loading bottled water into people's cars and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, you lying sack of shit. That's why I just hate politicians, because that's just a terrible human being, and people voted for him, and he will probably, keep his seat. Beto O'Rourke all week has been out hustling, helping, serving the community from El Paso. AOC raised over, $4 million for Texas, and it came out. She lives in New York, and this fool, was going to go to Cancun.
Well, no, he wasn't going to. He did. And then he came back. So he flew out of the country, even though the CDC says do not fly, right? Because we've looked. We're like, we've seen everybody flying everywhere. Like, all right, should we take a trip? What does the CDC say? Nope.
Yep.
And there's also a recommendation for, if you happen to fly, you must self-quarantine for 7 days. Why are you out there getting these photo ops, touching these bottles of the cases that you're putting in people's cars? And not only that, but I saw a picture where he was touching somebody.
Yeah.
You potentially infectious bastard. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Stupid is as stupid does.
Oh my God.
But again, he could have easily avoided all that by saying, yeah, I'm going to Cancun, but I will have power, I'll have Wi-Fi, I'll be in communication with the governor. He could have done all that. Because if any of us could have been able to get out and go to Cancun this week, we would have. Right? But that doesn't mean you have to suffer because I'm suffering. That's not the case. I don't have no issue with what you're doing. And for me to suffer, it was just me. I couldn't imagine being a parent and having kids. And you know, there's no heat, there's no food. You can't flush toilets. You know, you can't shower. Yeah, I think any parent would do whatever they could. Might even not be Cancun, but you'd go somewhere if you could get out. Exactly. I don't knock that, but just don't freaking lie to us, because now you're insulting our intelligence. And that's what pisses me off. You're talking to me like I'm stupid. I can't wait to vote and vote against this dude. But just and I hope people don't forget this incident, regardless of his policies, regardless of the whole Trump stuff. To me, this was the deal breaker for me, is that you straight up freaking lied to my face. And I have no respect for you.
Well, if we're going to talk about respect, let's talk about Texas. Show some respect and actually vote properly this time. I mean, the reason why you're in this headlines now, like you're Florida, is because you actually voted this guy in. You had a great opportunity to vote in someone else. Ted Cruz this is not new. Ted Cruz has been Ted Cruz for a very long time. Ted Cruz has been this creepy grandpa monster lookalike and acting like it for a long time. So it's on you.
Yep.
This is you. This is who you elected and who you probably will re-elect just because, well, let's have a Republican in. Sorry, but this is, you made this bed. Unfortunately, you got to lie in it until it's time to kick him out. And it's up to you guys. And, you know, tell you're one of the people who've committed to, it's time to start rallying everybody. Look, Stacey Abrams turned Georgia blue. I'm not saying you have to turn Texas blue, but you got to get Ted Cruz out.
Yep, and I think what we should do, the way we'll do our part, we're going to make a clip of just this part and make sure we share the shit out of it. That talks about Ted Cruz. In fact, they lied to us. I don't care that you're going to Cancun. You could totally do that. But don't lie to us like we're stupid. And that's what you did. And that tells me I have no respect for you whatsoever. I never had respect for it. I've never voted for him. But, you know, I'm going to use whatever voice that I have and try to get as many of my friends here in this great state to get their shit together, because this dude is ridiculous.
Like, he won the political internet this week, but you're trying to make sure he doesn't win that seat again. I don't
want him to have it. Yep, don't want him to have it. And I don't really get all rallied up in politics, but after this week, after so many people here have suffered and what they've gone through, for you just to lie to us like that, and then to go out and try to get your little photo ops and all that, bullshit.
If y'all vote him back in again, we're just going to call you Florida too. I'm sorry. It will no longer be Texas. It'll be Florida too.
Yeah. It just pisses me off, dude. Just go to Cancun. Just don't freaking lie about it.
You know, wait a minute. That's what Florida and Texas have in common.
That's what?
Y'all really might be Florida too. No state income tax. You guys really might be Florida too. You better vote Ted Cruz out. We definitely calling you Florida too. Texrida. Trying to think how to combine the two names.
Torta. FLEXAS. FLEXAS.
And the state flag would just be FLEXAS.
Yeah, it's just FLEXAS.
Oh, Jesus. Please don't be Florida. Come on, Terrell. I beg of you.
I can tell you that's one place I don't ever plan to vacation is Florida. Whatsoever.
Can't say I blame you. But, you know, I hear Cancun is nice this time of year.
Yeah. I know somebody that went. You know, they spent they just went for a quick trip, 24 hours.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah. Just a quick little turnaround.